There it is, a small atoll of coral islands in the Pacific, where man is dedicated to just one cause, the conquest of space. Here below us, a small city has been created to house the scientists, engineers, and technicians on whose shoulders rests the tremendous responsibility for this great adventure. This is the Rocket Assembly Building, with tracks running to the launching site. Only 48 hours remain until firing time. Our spaceship moves ponderously toward the firing site. After the ship is securely anchored over the blast tunnel, the elevator's spar is raised into place for the final pre-flight check and fueling. This is the blockhouse, the control center for Operation Space Flight. Here, the oscilloscopes, radar scopes, computers, and tracking devices are the brain and nervous system for the rocket. Dancing patterns of light will record every detail of the blast-off and climb into space. In the windowless blockhouse, observation is by periscope. Through a system of worldwide radar stations, electronic eyes will always be focused on the rocket as it orbits around the globe every 2 hours. The tracking radars report ready and are standing by. The optical tracking stations are poised and ready to follow the rocket in its upward flight. As 0 hour approaches, the painstaking work of the checkout crew continues. The ship and every piece of its equipment is being checked and rechecked.
Blockhouse, can you hear me? Will you give me that stage 2 separation signal again? Okay now, over.
Now swivel motor stage 3 to pitch right. Okay, now give me the left.
Attention all personnel. It is now X minus 2 hours. Fueling crew, take your stations. Safety area will be cleared by all personnel.
In the pits, the required quantity of fuel is preset. The pumps will deliver 1,230 tons of hydrazine and red fuming nitric acid into the tanks of the waiting rocket. It is now X minus 20 minutes.
Flight crew, report aboard rocket. Flight crew, report aboard rocket.
After years of careful preparation, testing men and materials, this is the final payoff. Now man will bet his life against the unknown dangers of space travel. Human reactions are not precise enough. Therefore, once the launching timer is started, the entire takeoff and flight into outer space will be controlled automatically.
X minus 5 minutes. Clear the firing area. Clear the firing area.
X minus 90 seconds. X minus 30 seconds. X minus 20 seconds. X minus 15 seconds. X minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
total firing time has been 5 minutes. The ship will now coast for 51 minutes before the adaptation maneuver begins. At over 60 miles above the Earth, the crew members experience the sensation of weightlessness for the first time.
Blockhouse to XR1. Your cutoff altitude is 63.9 miles. Distance from launching pad, 705 miles. Velocity, 18,467 miles per hour. Angle of elevation, 4 minutes apart. Plane of your ellipse of ascent incline, 66 degrees, 32 minutes, 2 seconds to plane of equator. Out.
51 minutes later and halfway around the world, the rocket is coasted to its maximum altitude of 1,075 miles. Its speed has diminished to 14,770 miles per hour. The navigator must now take a bearing on 2 fixed stars. He will line up the ship for the adaptation maneuver, which will drive it into a circular orbit around the Earth. The electronic controls will fire the rocket motor at the exact second the ship reaches the proper position. The ship and crew are now coasting freely and silently through space.